What's going on, everyone? It's JMac. It's been a while since my last Queen Pwnzalot video. I've been waiting for any new developments to happen besides the ones that I know about, and we'll get into those in a bit. But I think it's safe to say that nothing new is going to happen, so it's safe to make this video. Let's just dive in. Shortly after uploading my last video, I learned that not only was Queen Pwnzalot caught cheating again in another blindfolded run, this time in Warframe for a charity event, but also that she has privated all of her videos across both Twitch and YouTube, as well as deactivating her Twitter account. The reason she cited for privating her videos was fear for her safety over apparent attempts to publicize her private information and dox her, as well as harassment and, I quote, being actively farmed by other creators heinously for content. First of all, I want to make it very clear that harassment and doxing are absolutely not okay. Anyone crossing the line here and harassing her or trying to dox her is a worse person than she is. Do not harass her, do not try to contact her, and do not try to find her personal information, no matter where it is. I'm not going to debate whether her claims are real. It's kind of a meaningless argument at this point. I've seen and deleted comments on my own videos that went too far, some of which were downright nasty. I have no reason to doubt that similar comments have been made on her channel. I also know from experience that an unprecedented wave of negativity can feel like harassment to any content creator who hasn't experienced the unfiltered wrath of the internet. Asmongold himself pointed out on Twitter, anytime you criticize someone online, they will receive harassment and personal attacks. This isn't the fault of the critic, it's just simply what happens. I've had people call me gullible about this, by the way, like telling me that I'm believing a pathological liar's claims about harassment when she hasn't shown any death threats. Number one, no one said anything about death threats. Number two, it's not gullible to understand the pattern of the internet. Anytime someone with a big enough following criticizes someone else, some portion of that following, and some people outside of that following, are going to harass the criticized person. That is just a fact of life. I know that a lot of people want to live in their idealized fantasy worlds where someone criticizes someone and that person gets zero harassment at all, and that all comments are just constructive criticism, but that's really not the case, ever. Now let's talk about something that I do have proof of. I have seen the screenshots of her personal information that has been gathered by other people, and I thought this should go without saying, but clearly it needs to be said. Do not do that. If a content creator hasn't revealed a piece of information, such as their real name, their marital status, or anything like that, it is not incumbent upon you to do so. In fact, doing so is tantamount to doxing, no matter how public the information that you found was. If it's a public Facebook profile, it doesn't matter. If it's a public record, it doesn't matter. If they have not chosen to attach that information to their online persona, it is doxing. Anyone defending this action at all is not welcome in my community. I want nothing to do with you. The actions you're defending are unacceptable, and they are so far across the line that the line isn't even visible anymore. It's stalker behavior. Now, let's switch gears from that and focus on something a little different. I want to talk about some of the comments I received. I've received a number of comments about the walking to the car blindfolded example, and I can't tell if some of you are just missing the point or if I explained something incorrectly, so let me just break this down for you to make myself completely clear. Queen Pwnzalot's run is the equivalent of putting a blindfold wherever you are, like at your desk, on your couch, and then standing up, taking the perfect number of steps for the perfect distance to your front door, reaching your arm at the perfect angle and the perfect distance to the doorknob, first try, opening the door, grabbing your keys, going outside, closing the door, and then taking the perfect number of steps in the perfect direction to get to your car, and then once again reaching your hand forward and down at the perfect angle to open the car door, first try, and then sitting down in your car, closing the car door, and then sticking your key into the ignition, first try. All blindfolded. I suppose a more accurate example would have been something like driving your car on a route that you've memorized, but I also didn't want YouTube to flag my video for promoting dangerous acts, which that very much is, by the way. Driving your car blindfolded is incredibly dangerous, but at the end of the day, that is kind of what Queen Pwnzalot's run is akin to. It's akin to perfectly driving your car blindfolded from your house to somewhere that you've driven 1,000 times without any accidents, going the proper speed, the proper distances, not running into anything. That's what Queen Pwnzalot did. So that's everything from the last video that I really wanted to touch on, and Now let's really get into why I'm making this video. So, first of all, I'm not going to retell the whole story here. There is no new evidence to cover, and there are no new arguments to debunk. Hopefully, this will be my last video on Queen Pwnzalot before I can go on to projects that I really want to do. So, why am I even making it? Well, I kinda just want to say my final thoughts on the matter. Call it a post-mortem, if you will. Situations like this rarely end cleanly. This one certainly didn't. I know on some level that I'm supposed to feel bad for Queen Pwnzalot having been driven off the internet like she was. But I just can't. At the end of the day, this was a self-inflicted wound. She and her community worked together to get her video in front of Asmongold, likely in hopes of jumpstarting her career as a streamer by showing off some apparently spectacular feat. Her plan worked, spectacularly so, but as the saying goes, be careful what you wish for. She had more eyes on her than ever before, and that included the eyes of several experts in blindfolded runs. And so there were that many more eyes on her when she was revealed to be a cheater. Now, as much as I'd love to see just how many faked runs there are on her channel, I also really don't care at this point. I'm more interested in her other stated reason for privating her videos: malicious intent and being actively farmed by other creators for content. This is something I've seen echoed from fans of hers in my own content. Comments like, "the farming saga continues," or "you're just farming her for clout," which is ironic given how she wound up here to begin with. Also, unlike the harassment, this claim is a lot less true. Content creators are examining the ever-growing mountain of evidence that she's cheated. There may be some making videos for drama clicks, but they are in the minority. Many more of us are focused on finding the truth. I do believe that, short of an apology video, privating everything was probably the best move she could have made for herself. And on that note, I'd actually like to take a moment to directly address Queen Pwnzalot here. Queen Pwnzalot, you started by looking for clout. It's incredibly rich to me that you would call everyone else clout chasers harassing some poor innocent streamer who didn't ask for any of this when you so clearly did. You put your video in front of Asmongold, hoping he would react to it on his stream, bringing more eyes to your channel. And when that happened, you were caught cheating. And when you were caught cheating, you were granted the opportunity to prove yourself in a rare second chance. Instead of accepting that second chance with grace, you were nothing short of arrogant. You doubled down, even fabricating evidence about the original blindfold, and refused to fulfill a basic request for proof from an expert. In fact, you called all of the experts liars and clout chasers, forgetting the very reason why you were in this situation to begin with: your own desire for clout. And you cheated a second time. The evidence is crystal clear in that regard. Rather than face the music, you doubled down again and again. You threw more and more obstacles in the way of anyone trying to obtain evidence, and finally, you privated everything, once again leaning on the projection that anyone scrutinizing your content was just as clout-driven as you are. After the second accusation, you didn't even bother to reach out to the other experts to defend yourself. Ubbisoft, who you and your mods lied about, is incredibly easy to reach and talk to. Carl Jobst is always willing to hear the other side of the story and would have let you talk to him as well. Both of them are experts, to say nothing of the several other blindfolded experts you could have spoken to. But you went with Asmongold, who notably has a much larger reach, but also has no knowledge of blindfolded running. I think that speaks volumes more about your intentions than anything else in this entire scandal. Always looking for the most attention, but crying about it when you'd get it and it's not the attention you like. I wish you could see just how rotten you really are. Now, let me give you a little reality check. When you're accused of cheating, it's to be expected that people will look through all of your content to find any other evidence of cheating, both in the run that you're accused of cheating in, and in every other run of everything else you've done, and they will publicly post that evidence. Unfortunately for you, more and more evidence was found that countered all of your claims. And finally, people found a video of you allegedly cheating in a Warframe blindfolded run, and I have to say, the evidence looks pretty compelling.
Who said Warframe was hard?
Oh no.
In this segment, we see that she is able to turn her camera perfectly unguided to kill enemies in the room, and then magically turn it forward again to continue with the level. This would be humanly impossible if you were actually blindfolded. I don't claim to know the primary reason behind you privating your videos, nor do I really care. Only you truly know the reasons, and it's not my place to speculate. However, the discovery of your Warframe run does conveniently line up with when you made the decision to private your videos. I can't say whether that's coincidence or not, but at the very best for you, it's poor timing. Regardless, the public perception of you is already cast in stone now. You single-handedly erased your reputation as a skilled boss hunter with over 4,000 Elatrion kills, and cemented it as a blindfolded cheater who can't admit it. And now, people are already speculating that you may not have legitimately gotten those 4,000 kills either. The only way I can see you coming back from this at all is with a sincere apology. For everything. The cheating, the lying, the arrogance, all of it. You will also have to accept that people will not trust you. You have irreparably damaged the public's trust. If you are ever welcomed back into the blindfolded run community or even the speedrun community, you will forever be held to a significantly higher standard of proof than any of your peers. Part of me hopes that you do realize the error of your ways and come forward, but the other part of me isn't getting my hopes up. I was already of the opinion that you didn't deserve a third chance to prove yourself. The most recent evidence tells me that I was correct. You really don't deserve a third chance. At the end of it all, you were a victim of your own hubris and nothing else. You flew too close to the sun, your wings have melted, and now you are falling with nothing you can do about it but accept the end of your career. Game over, Queen Pwnzalot. That brings us to the end of this video, as well as I hope the Queen Pwnzalot saga. If you liked what you saw, go ahead and hit that like button. If you want to stick around for my future projects, go ahead and subscribe. Your support really means a lot to me. I'll see you next time, and as always, stay freaky, my friends. Goodbye.